Hi everyone. In this section we'll be updating the labels and currency in our application just to make the whole application a bit more user-friendly. You can see in our current application the currency values are rounded incorrectly to 4 decimal places instead of 2 and also have no currency symbol to indicate what exactly they are. Also our values for units in stock and units on order in the detail panel have no labels to tell the client what these values represent. So we're going to add both of these issues, or we're going to address both of these issues in this video. We'll first add labels to the units in stock and units on order values so users will know what these numbers represent. Since we know that the data items are units in stock and units on order both in one word, we can actually use the Web IDE search feature to find the files that we need to edit. So we can go ahead and click the magnifying glass in the right-hand toolbar, enter units in stock, all one word, and there should be two instances found, and the top one being the details.view.xml file. Since we know we want to change the detail view, this is the file we're going to want to edit. So you can double click the units in stock line in the search bar and it will take you directly to the search term in the source file. And we can see both object attributes for the units in stock and the units on order here in the XML file. What we're going to want to add is a title attribute to these XML objects. So before the text equals, we're just going to add a title equals units in stock for the units in stock attribute, and then title equals units on order for the units on order object attribute. We're also going to add one additional object attribute here, which you'll see me paste, and this is just a product ID, where we actually have a product ID as the title, and then the text is actually product ID from the data source. So as you can see here, you can edit based on the data source you're using and add different attributes as well to display and to customize the application a bit. And once we save and run that, we can see that we have the product ID for all of our products here, as well as labels for the units in stock and units on order. So it makes it just a little bit more clear as far as what these values represent. Now to address the currency issue, we first went around these values down to 2 decimal places by converting the string to a number and actually using the Java toFixed method to round to just 2 decimal places. So we're actually going to want to have this change affect both the master and detail views since we have the currency value in both of these views. So we're going to have to edit a file a little bit further upstream in these individual XML files. And the file that we're going to be editing in this case is component.js, which is actually on the front page or in the root directory of our workspace. And there's actually a function within this component.js file called underscore set model. And we're going to actually add an additional function to the end of this underscore set model function. And it's going to be called attach request completed, all one word. And I've pasted the corresponding code here under the this.setModel call within the function. And you can see pretty much what this is doing is just specifying the number of decimal places we're going to be using. And then we're using the get model here to get all the objects within the product's value, loop through those products, and set the unit price of each product to a number first, and then using that toFixed with num decimal places, we're actually rounding each product unit price individually. And then we just update the bindings before we leave the function here. Feel free to pause the video here if you need to jot down this code. But otherwise, once we hit save and run the application again, we can see that all the values are now rounded to 2 decimal places. And this is true in both the master and detail views. Now to add our currency symbol. Rather than actually hard coding a symbol, we'll take advantage of some internationalization and localization capabilities within the Web IDE, and we're actually going to use an I18N function in the message bundle.properties file to kind of create a static variable that we can actually reference throughout our product here, or project here. So first we'll actually add an attribute to the message bundle.properties file. This file is located in the I18N folder from the workspace. And once you edit this file, at the very bottom, we're just going to add a new attribute. We'll call it currency symbol, and then set an equal sign, and set it equal to the currency symbol we want to use. In this case, we're just going to use the US dollar sign. And from here, any string from this file can actually be used in the application using a reference in the format I18N greater than symbol currency symbol, and we'll see that here in a second. So once we save that, we're going to go ahead and edit the detail.view.xml file and master.view.xml files once again and insert this reference just before the unit price in both these files. You can see me do it here, and we just want to make sure that when we insert the reference, it's actually inserted within the same double quotes as the unit price. Now when we save and rerun the program, we actually have currency symbol values in both the master and detail views here. So that about cleans up our application and makes it much more user-friendly and readable. In the next section, we're actually going to be finally deploying our tutorial application to the cloud, and we'll access it both from a PC, web browser, as well as from a mobile device. See you then.